Hi there, lovely, and welcome to Let's Chat. I'm Rhonda Crimes, and I'm a certified life and leadership coach and trainer for everyday women just like you who are tired of being people-pleasing good girls, or who I prefer to call super givers. I'm here to do all I can to guide and support these beautiful super givers in my community to be able to use their voice, make their stand, and live their life their way. If that sounds like something you'd like to know more about, keep listening and don't be shy to reach out and take advantage of my offers and invitations for one-to-one and group coaching, training and mentoring opportunities, where together we'll curiously explore what is most important for you to stand for, to compassionately encourage you to speak your truth and to courageously live your life aligned to your heart's desire, with confidence and without guilt. In this episode, let's chat about being true to yourself. If you are anything like me, you say you are being true to yourself. And at the surface level, it might even look like that. And if that is the case, using the 80-20 Pareto principle, you will be feeling like that at a good 80% of the time. Your self-esteem is in that high percentile. Your self-worth is consistently high. You are doing what you love and being rewarded generously for it. You are being recognized positively by the people who are important to you. And when you think really hard, you wouldn't change a thing about anything. Sure, there are going to be some of those days that fall into the 20% bracket, but they are only sometimes, and they're to be expected. Because you also recognize it's not all unicorns and rainbows. So if this really is how your life is across every area of your life, you probably don't need to listen to any more of what I have to say. You have ticked the boxes financially. You have the right relationships at home, at work, and with the extended family. Your health, wealth, and physical environments are right up there. You are living exactly how you wish to. Absolutely living the dream. Well, possibly on your social pages or at your high school reunions. But really? A good while ago, I heard the line, "To thine own self be true," and it really struck me. Now, it's a line from Shakespeare's Hamlet, but I'm pretty sure I didn't hear it from there. I don't even recall how far back it was. It could have been in a lower high school English class or from a movie I watched as a much younger woman. I just know when I heard it, I was so moved by it and determined this would become my mantra. I was going to live my life being true to me. I thought it sounded pretty easy back then. And it was when I was alone. But as soon as anyone else got involved, I would bend and sway, compromise and abdicate, give in and give up. Then I'd realize what was happening and berate myself and then promise I'd do better next time. And so it went on, rinse and repeat. I kept repeating the mantra, kept promising, kept stumbling. On the outside, it looked like my life was going okay. I had a good family, went to a good school, got a good job, met a good man, moved to a good country town, got another good job, had a good wedding, became a good wife, then rapidly a good mum 3 times over. Suddenly, "To thine own self be true" seemed like a less reliable mantra when there were so many versions of myself. This was about the time I sought out some books and cassette tapes around personal development. Yes, cassette tapes. It was in the late 80s and early 90s. In them, I went looking for another mantra because that one obviously didn't work. Turns out I was wrong. It wasn't the mantra. It was me. And this is what I discovered. I couldn't be true to me if I didn't know what my truth was. I found out that living your truth is not for the faint-hearted. You will get pushback. You will meet resistance, because your truth is not always shared by the people who play important roles in your life. And because your life evolves, your own roles morph and change. As a super giver, I took the path of least resistance, which was to people please. Do what they want because it makes them happy. I was the youngest in my family and I adored my older siblings. And for the most part, I was really happy to go along with them. I would also do what my parents told me. Be a good girl and eat all that dinner for mum. Watch those documentaries my dad loved and I didn't really know how to process. Not ask any questions because I also didn't want to look like the stupid little sister. Now, to be fair and to set the record straight, I was not perfectly behaved. I had my fair share of tanties along the way. Gretchen Rubin calls them obliger rebellions in her book, The Happiness Project. Obligers and supergivers are soul sisters. Gretchen explains, obliger rebellion occurs when obligers meet expectations, and then suddenly they snap. They say, this I will not do. And they refuse to meet an expectation. This refusal can be small and symbolic, refusing to answer someone's emails or being deliberately late for work. Or it can be huge and fateful, ending a 20-year friendship, quitting a job, getting a divorce. Being a super giver also meant there were additional layers that needed to be considered around my truths. But I knew it was important to work out what they looked like, how they made me feel. One truth I revealed very early on was that I didn't need to be my children's friend when they were little. I needed to be the unconditionally loving, nurturing backbone they could rely on to guide them safely and sustainably into adulthood. I had an intuitive knowing that if I did this well, they would choose to be my friend when they were living their own lives their way. That one's turned out pretty well. I went on to apply this fledgling process of looking into my truths across all my life areas, applying the process to all the roles and the many hats I wore, asking myself, what is my truth? How do I want to be when I have this hat on? What is the outcome that will feel successful to me? And I amassed a mighty fine long list of truths. To thine own self be true was back. And it went along very nicely for quite a while longer, until I began to stumble again. New life transition. No longer a stay-at-home mum. And turns out teenagers are a different breed. They don't always do as they're told, especially when you're also modeling that mantra to them. So it was back to the drawing board, revisiting the truths that I thought would apply forever. They don't always. Relationships change, locations change, people who were important leave. New people enter your life. Jobs change, roles change, hats change. Truths about all this change. While I realized I could live my mantra, I also understood I'd need to keep visiting what I was telling myself was true about how I was wanting to be, wearing the ever-changing hats. My process has also changed over the years. I learned I needed to add another layer. I began to challenge if these truths were my own or had they been inherited, absorbed, conditioned into me. I learnt about limiting beliefs, unresourceful behaviours, crappy stories, projects that were no longer relevant, unrealistic expectations, unreasonable obligations, other people's goals for my life, stowed emotions, underlying resentments, and unnecessary burdens I was carrying around, like the good girl that I am. This was around the time when I started to formalize my coaching and training and began my looking back to learn process. I have now honed that process after 4 years and developed a looking back to learn online workshop from the annual 5-day challenge I hosted in January this year. I imagine it will continue to be refined as I learn more about myself and the wonders of technology. Last year, I created an affordable Truly My Year, My Way club where I could offer other super givers like you the platform and opportunity to look back to learn more regularly, to refine your truths, and then give you practices and strategies to help you to manage or let go of the stuff that's holding you back. I offer a 12-month subscription that gives you prompts to schedule the time, to ask the questions, to cover all of the life areas. All of this inside an intimate community that is safe and judgment-free, where I'm available to offer my support and my cheerleading prowess. So while there are days when things turn to shit, where things don't go how I want them to, where old truths are laid bare and come up short, for a good 80% or more of the time, I am still living my mantra, to thine own self be true. I'd love you to take some time to firstly determine what your own true to you percentage is and see if you could improve your score. Find out what areas you're doing okay in, which ones are not so good. Figure out what roles could do with some improving and what hats might need changing. A simple way is to look at the results that are showing up. If they make you feel fulfilled, happy, expanded, and want to jump out of bed for them, I'd say you're doing okay. But if they don't, if they fall short, if you feel stuck, I urge you to take some time to challenge the truths you've been listening to. And if you'd like some extra help, I invite you to check out my Looking Back to Learn workshop for a DIY approach. This workshop is available all the time. Alternatively, you could join the Truly My Year, My Way club, and we can do it together. The current intake is open for registration until February 5, after which I'll offer you the chance to go on the wait list, and you will be the first to know when the doors open again. I've included the links to both opportunities in the notes wherever you're watching or listening. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Chat about being true to yourself. And I would be thrilled if you let me help you to curiously explore that for yourself, either in the workshop or the club while the doors are still open. Thanks for being here right to the very end of the episode. I hope there were just enough ahas or oh no's to be of value for you. I truly enjoyed chatting with you, and if you did too, can I ask that you share it with friends who would benefit or be interested as well? Also, for more brownie points, could I ask you to leave a comment, either reviewing it, asking for more info, or letting me know you've got other questions or topics you'd like me to cover off? Much love. Till next time.